for hundreds of years. This simple piece of cloth, 14 feet long, worshipped by the faithful for centuries.
A machine with no belief just looked at a 2,000-year-old cloth and created a face. Not the glowing Jesus from paintings. A battered, bloodied man with broken features. Scientists ran the test again. Same face. They changed the data. Same face. The AI had never seen forensic reports from ancient Rome. It had no access to first-century skull studies. Yet, what appeared on the screen matched exactly what historians say a crucified Jewish man would look like, down to the wounds no medieval artist could have known about. Either this is the strangest coincidence in computer history, or that cloth recorded something we still can't explain. This is the Shroud of Turin, 14 feet of linen, marked with the faint outline of a crucified man. For centuries, it sat in silence. No one understood what they were looking at. The image was too faint, too blurry, just a smudge. Then, 1898 happened. A lawyer named Secondo Pia was allowed to photograph the shroud. When he developed the glass plate in his dark room, he froze. The negative revealed what the naked eye couldn't see. Suddenly, there was a face, a full body, blood trails running down the forehead, nail wounds in the wrists. The cloth wasn't just fabric anymore. It was a photographic negative. But here's the problem. Photography had just been invented. The shroud supposedly dated back centuries. How could anyone create a perfect negative image before cameras even existed? Scientists rushed to examine it. What they found made even less sense. No paint, no pigment, no brush strokes, nothing. The image sat only on the surface of the fibers, as if something had burned the cloth without ever touching it. And that's when the real mystery began. The image wasn't painted on. It wasn't pressed into the fabric. It existed only on the outermost layer of each fiber, thinner than a human hair. Doctors studied the wounds. They matched Roman crucifixion techniques perfectly. Nails through the wrists, not the palms. That's where bones could support a body's weight. Medieval artists always got this wrong. They painted nails through palms. The scourge marks told another story. Dumbbell-shaped wounds across the back and legs. The exact pattern left by a Roman flagrum whip, leather straps tipped with bone and metal. Blood trails ran in directions consistent with a man hanging vertically, shifting to breathe. This wasn't guesswork. It was forensic precision. If you're realizing this mystery goes deeper than you thought, hit subscribe, because what scientists discovered next makes everything stranger. Some propose the image formed from a burst of radiation, not fire, not light, something else. An energy discharge so intense it would take billions of watts released in nanoseconds. No medieval forger had that technology. No modern lab can recreate it. The cloth shows trauma, but zero decomposition. No bodily oils, no decay. The body didn't rot. It vanished. By 1988, science had a solution. Carbon-14 dating. The definitive test. 3 of the world's top laboratories were chosen: Oxford, Zurich, Arizona. They took tiny samples from the shroud and ran the analysis. The results came back fast. 1260 to 1390 AD. Medieval. A forgery. Case closed. Newspapers around the world declared the mystery solved. Skeptics celebrated. Believers were crushed. For a moment, it seemed like centuries of debate had finally ended. But the celebration didn't last. Textile experts immediately raised concerns. The sample came from a corner of the shroud, a corner that had been badly damaged in a fire centuries earlier, and repaired. Microscopic analysis revealed something critical. The tested section contained cotton threads woven into the original linen, medieval repairs mixed with ancient fabric. If the sample was contaminated, the test was worthless. Critics pointed out another problem. The 1988 technology wasn't designed for heat-damaged, multi-layered textiles. The sample location made the entire result questionable. Confidence collapsed. The Vatican stayed silent. Scientists found themselves back at the beginning. staring at a cloth that refused to give answers. The mystery wasn't solved. It was just getting louder. But in 2022, new technology changed everything. Researchers applied a technology called wide-angle X-ray scattering. It measures how fibers age at the molecular level. When they tested the shroud, the results shocked everyone. The linen didn't match medieval fabric. It matched something far older, 55 to 74 AD, 1st century, the exact time period of the crucifixion. But that wasn't all. Isotope analysis traced the flax fibers to the Levant, modern-day Israel and Lebanon, not Europe, not France, the region where Roman crucifixions actually happened. Then came the blood analysis. Real human blood, type AB, clotted into the fibers in patterns consistent with violent trauma, not painted, not applied afterward. The blood had soaked into the cloth at the moment of injury. Chemical reactions proved it. The wounds matched Roman execution methods with disturbing accuracy. Crown of thorns punctures around the scalp, shoulder abrasions from carrying something heavy, a crossbeam, dirt traces around the feet from rocky terrain. Every forensic detail lined up. But here's where it gets impossible to explain. The image shows trauma, but zero decomposition. No breakdown products, no bodily oils, nothing that happens when a body decays. Whatever left this image wasn't there long enough to rot. Some researchers proposed an explanation that sounds like science fiction. A burst of ultraviolet radiation. Not just any burst. Several billion watts of energy released in a fraction of a second. That's more power than any natural light source we know. No ancient technology could do this. No medieval technique could fake it. Modern labs still can't recreate it. One scientist described it this way. The image might have formed at the exact moment the body transformed. Not moved, not lifted, transformed. The cloth captured something that left a shadow. Not from pressure, not from paint, from light itself. And then scientists did something unprecedented. They asked a machine to look at it. High-resolution scans of the shroud were fed into artificial intelligence. Platforms like Midjourney. The prompt was simple. Reconstruct the face based on these markings. What appeared wasn't what anyone expected. No halo, no soft Renaissance glow, no idealized European features. The AI generated a rugged, Middle Eastern man. Dark skin, swollen lips, bruised cheeks, thick, matted hair, a broken nose, blood trickling down the forehead in narrow, realistic paths. This wasn't the Jesus from cathedral paintings. This was someone who had been beaten, dragged, pierced, buried. The face looked exhausted, not glorious, raw, not symbolic, real. Anthropologists examined the proportions. They matched 1st century Semitic bone structure, the jawline, the brow ridge, the facial width, all consistent with the region and time period. But here's what disturbed researchers. The AI had never been trained on forensic reconstructions from ancient Rome. It hadn't studied 1st century Jewish skull samples. It only looked at the shroud data, texture, stain patterns, light compression, pixel density. And it created this. Scientists ran the test again with different parameters. Same face appeared. They changed the data inputs. Same general features returned. The consistency was unnerving. Within hours, the image spread across social media. Millions of people stared at it. Some were brought to tears. Others were angry. Many were just confused. One neuroscientist reviewing the output admitted something strange. It's like the shroud was a 2,000-year-old negative waiting for AI to decode it. And what we got wasn't fantasy. It was a man who looked like he'd just been pulled from a tomb. Some AI-generated versions went further. They interpreted the image formation itself. Bodies hovering slightly above cloth. Light radiating from wounds. No contact points. No pressure. Just energy suspended in space. The machine had no belief system. No religious bias. It only processed data. And the data showed a face that shouldn't exist. But critics weren't convinced. Skeptics had a simple explanation. Artificial intelligence learns from existing images. And what's been painted more than anything in Western history? Jesus, crucifixions, the shroud itself. The AI wasn't discovering truth. It was remixing centuries of Christian art. Data contamination, pattern recognition, nothing spiritual about it. But something didn't fit that argument. The AI didn't generate the soft, peaceful European Jesus that dominates classical paintings. It created a gritty, beaten, historically accurate Middle Eastern face. It didn't match Leonardo or Michelangelo. It matched forensic evidence. Deep-set eyes, flattened nose, sun-darkened, bruised skin. No glamour, no divine glow. Even hardened skeptics admitted the realism was unsettling. And here's the strangest part. Every time researchers reran the AI with different datasets, the same face kept appearing. Same proportions, same wounds, same broken expression. It wasn't chaos. It was convergence. One atheist researcher put it bluntly, "I don't believe in miracles, but something about this image feels like it remembers pain." The debate exploded. 3 camps formed. Some said medieval forgery. Others said natural phenomenon. A few whispered something else entirely. So what really happened in that tomb? 3 possibilities. 1. This is history's most elaborate forgery, created by someone who understood anatomy, physics, and photography centuries before they existed. Someone who could manipulate light at the microscopic level, and left zero evidence of how they did it. 2. A bizarre natural phenomenon we don't understand yet, some freak accident of chemistry, radiation, and timing that perfectly mimicked a crucified body. 3. The cloth recorded an event, an energy release so powerful it burned an image into linen in a fraction of a second. The moment a body didn't move, it transformed. After months of research, analyzing every test, watching that AI face appear on screen, one thing is certain. This cloth shouldn't exist. Not with this image. Not with this precision. So either medieval forgers knew things we don't, or something happened in that tomb. Something that left a mark we still can't erase. And the machine just showed us the face.